Hello and welcome to Lifelong Learning on Location. I'm Ann Hansen and I'll be your host today as we go on location at Western Nevada College in Carson City. We'll be talking today about what students can do to prepare for going to college. As the fall semester approaches, there's lots to be done, and we're talking with two very interesting and knowledgeable people. Sue Muller, the coordinator of counseling. Welcome, Sue.
Thank you.
And Megan Sladen. Right? Did I get that right? A student at the college and also a student worker. Welcome, Megan.
Thanks.
And so you folks are kind of both integral in different ways about preparing for college. Sue, of course, you're helping students to prepare for college, aren't you?
Mm-hmm. It's a very busy time of the year for us. We're just jammed in counseling, but we'll see everyone one way or another.
I'm sure you will, and you'll get them all prepared.
That's the goal.
And Megan, you're preparing as a student, aren't you?
I am. I've registered for my classes. I'm one of the lucky ones who got it done early. But I still am buying my books and getting my schedule and my work schedule figured out. So I'm trying to work it all out before we get there.
I'm sure. And are you commuting from a long distance to campus?
No, not presently. I commuted when I was in high school to my high school, but presently I live in Carson. So it's actually kind of nice being able to go to school and work and everything right in the same city.
I can imagine. And what's your academic goal?
Well, I'm going to graduate next spring with my AA, and then I plan to transfer to UNR and get a dual major between geography and anthropology in order to be able to study cultures and travel the world.
It sounds great. Sounds like fun. Can I come?
That'd be wonderful.
Yeah. So, Sue, what specifically do people need to do if they're planning to go to college this fall?
Well, get started. Classes begin less than a month from now, and so we really encourage you to contact the Counseling Center ASAP. Some steps you need to do is certainly get your application completed. It's very easy. You can go to the college's website and do that online. Next step, if you haven't taken the ACTs or the SATs in high school, then we need to have you do some placement testing. We need to see where you are today with your math and your English and your reading skills. And we can do that very easily. It's a $10 testing fee. It takes about 2 hours. We need to get you set up for that testing, and then we'll have you meet with one of our counselors.
So that you know what classes you should be signing up for.
Exactly.
I'm sure people who have especially been away from college or high school may have a little bit of trepidation about the math and the English, might they?
Definitely, right.
And how do you help them with that?
Well, wonderful thing about Western Nevada College is we offer many different levels of math and English and reading courses. So a student that may not be prepared for college right away, we have many what we call developmental or even refresher courses to get them ready to go so that they can later on then take the courses that will count towards their degrees. We also have a new class offered this summer, Ann, that you might be interested in. It's called a math algebra brush-up class.
Ooh, I think I could use that.
Yes. It's being taught both at our Douglas campus and our Carson campus 2 weeks before classes begin. It's just a 1-week-long class. So those of you that have forgotten the language of algebra, maybe you've been out of school for a few years, or maybe you didn't take algebra your senior year in high school. It's an excellent class to kind of get you back to speed with your algebra, and then you'll probably do better on our placement test as well.
I would think so, and then you might get into the class that you want. It would save you a whole semester.
Exactly.
Now, have you already taken your math and your basic courses?
I have. I've taken all the way through my English 102, and I've taken through calculus and math, so I'm pretty much well off there, unless I'd like to go for one of those hard science degrees. But now I'm just taking specific classes to my majors, so...
Well, anthropology is a fascinating major because it's science, but it's also kind of an art... humanities as well.
I love anthropology. I think it's wonderful. And in my high school, I went to Virginia City High School, and they do an intersession, and so I was able to take an archaeology class during that intersession. And the teacher was actually an archaeologist before he was a teacher, so I really, really enjoy it.
Do you think that's what got you hooked?
Probably.
It seems like sometimes people forget what they love about learning. And it takes something like an exploratory class or some course that you just try that really turns you on, doesn't it? And so what do you do with students when you're counseling them from the very beginning? Perhaps, let's say, a student right out of high school who hasn't quite decided if they want to go to college yet, or maybe just wants to, but just hasn't motivated themselves.
Right. Well, we kind of go over the steps with them of getting started, and if they're unclear about, well, what classes to start with, we can certainly make some suggestions. I always encourage students to get right on their English, get that out of the way, because you're going to be writing papers in your classes, and our English 101 class prepares you for being able to do that. We encourage them to get the math out of the way as well before they get further and further away from having math in high school. We're also finding today, Anne, that a lot of students are not reading at the college level, and this is happening nationwide. And so we're really encouraging students to work on reading skills, and we have a couple of excellent classes that help prepare students that way. No matter what degree a student is going to complete in our state, they need a U.S. and Nevada Constitutions class. So, and again, that's another course that they can get out of the way. And then certainly we suggest that they try a class that maybe they have some interest in. Maybe they know nothing about anthropology or sociology, or maybe they know nothing about geography, and maybe this would be an opportunity to take a class that would sort of maybe open up something for them.
And possibly a career area.
Exactly.
Yes, and I know that there are classes at Western that are actually college success classes.
Definitely.
And what are those about?
Those are wonderful classes. And again, we have one coming up right before classes start, 1 week-long class. But our college success classes help students be better prepared for college. We talk about time management. We talk about learning styles. We talk about how to prepare for exams. We talk about taking good notes in classes. All those kind of success tips that we want students to be able to have when they walk into the classroom.
And did you think that you would have benefited, or did you take a college success class?
Unfortunately, when I started here, we didn't have Bridge to Success, which we have that goes to the high schools. And we didn't have a lot of the things that we have going on in counseling now. So when I started, I didn't know too much about it, and I decided not to take it. However, my best friend did take the class, and she loved it. She thought it was absolutely wonderful, and that she suggests it to everybody that she meets. So.
And maybe you got a few tips?
Yeah, I read through her book.
You got the benefit indirectly. What are your success tips for viewers out there for getting through, the first semester of college?
Definitely take that college success class. Really concentrate on what notes you can learn from the best and how you study the best, because not everyone studies the same. I don't know how many people actually realize that, but not everyone studies the same. For me, I can study with background noise, but if it's completely silent, I can't do it. But I know a lot of people who are exactly the opposite. So really concentrate on how you can get through school that first semester and figure that out. And then once you've got that figured out, the rest of it will kind of smooth over for you.
And once you're at Western, what kind of an environment should students expect?
Well, I think they should expect a very creative learning environment, I should say, an opportunity to be able to express themselves in the classroom. But certainly you want to come to classes well prepared. We recommend for every hour you're in school, plan to study 2 to 3 hours outside of school. Read your assignments, do the homework before you come to class. Then you'll be a better participant in the classroom. Our faculty encourage dialogue, and I think that's one of the wonderful things about college. And you want to be prepared and be able to participate in that.
Certainly. And would you agree with that?
Oh, definitely. The worst times ever being in class were the days that I grabbed the wrong binder or I had not read the assignment. So really, the best thing to do, when I talked to a tutor last year was, he told me to go ahead and as soon as I'm out of class, it's within the first hour you start losing about 30 to 40% of the information.
Wow,
so
that's quick.
If you can study as soon as you're out of class and start brushing yourself back up on that, then you have a better chance of retaining it. And you want to study that night. You don't want to put it off for a day or two because you don't remember. You remember probably 10% by the second day. So you really want to be able to reinforce it that night and then move through and keep looking back on it, of course, before your tests and everything. But that's probably some of the best advice that I've received from the tutors and things up here.
And I know that Western does have free tutoring, don't they?
Yes, they do. The Academic Skills Center, actually, all you have to do is have your free student ID card to get the free tutoring. So it's pretty nice. And the tutors in there are very nice people, very patient and everything.
Are
they got me in touch with. Yeah. They got me through calculus.
So they don't just tutor on the beginning classes, they tutor on advanced classes as well.
Yes.
Oh, that's great.
And we have a wonderful library here at our college as well, and it's a great place to study for those of us that need more quiet. Lots of computers, but it's a great place to go in between your classes rather than going home or going somewhere else. Stay on campus and use that time as part of your study time. You'll get a lot more done in the library than you will at home.
Well, that's true. And it gives you time to read it through,
exactly.
as you said. Now, this is one of the larger classrooms that we're in, Marlette Hall. How would this classroom, would students have a lot of classes in a room this size, or are most of the classes smaller?
From my experience, most of the classes are smaller. I personally have never had a class in this classroom, but it'd be nice. But yeah, most of the classes are smaller. They're pretty reasonable size, and it's actually pretty nice coming to school here. I enjoy it quite a bit, honestly. You can get up and ask your instructor questions when they're done giving their lectures and everything, and I think that's really great, especially for students who are just trying to figure this whole college experience out. So I think it's a wonderful place.
Good. And how about you, Sue?
Yes, very few of our classes are held in this large of a classroom, and most of our classrooms hold 25 to 30, 35 students. Some of our large lectures, like in chemistry, that would hold, 60, 65 students. This classroom here, I believe, holds maybe over 100. I think they use it for some of the nursing lectures. But by and large, you're going to be in small classrooms, very similar to high school size, I would say.
And how would this compare to larger universities?
Quite different. Quite different. Typically at a university, at least in your freshman, sophomore level classes, you may be in a classroom with 300 or 400 students. I know I certainly was.
I do remember that as a freshman at a large university, and it was not invigorating.
No, and you didn't feel comfortable asking questions. Many times you weren't even able to ask questions.
Right, you often weren't allowed. It was just get through the material in a lecture format.
Exactly. And often the instructor didn't know whether you showed up to class or not. You might. It's just a very different scene than what we have here at our college.
That's exceptional, really, that students can have a one-on-one. Do you feel like you've gotten to know some of your instructors?
Oh, definitely. Definitely. I see them driving around Carson here, and I'll wave to them. I'll be hanging out my window waving to them. Like, hi! They'll wave right back. So it's great.
But there's a good, positive bond.
Oh, definitely, yeah. And they're all really willing to work with you. So if you go to the tutoring and still don't quite understand how the teacher was connecting their ideas, and you can go directly to the instructor and ask them how they were doing it. Most of them are willing to just meet with you in their office. They set up their office hours and convenient times, so
it worked for you.
Yeah.
And you came right out of high school, right, or thereabouts, closely?
I did. I came here the fall after I graduated. So.
And would you recommend that to other viewers that are of your age?
Definitely. I've known some people who've taken a semester or a year off, and what I've seen within my friends that I graduated from was the ones who said, "Oh, I'll just take a semester off." Never quite got around to coming.
Yes.
But I'm really looking forward to getting an education, so I would say that if you really want to go ahead and pursue your goals in life, definitely come as soon as you possibly can.
It gets you a head start, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah, it does, definitely. And then you get in here with we have like the older returning students, and they're very accepting people. And then you get in here with people who are just your age as well, and you get into the classes with people who are your age. So it's a real nice learning experience for the whole classroom at once.
Right.
So.
And how about when you do have returning students who have been out of high school for a long time, or maybe never finished high school, or have never started college? How do you assist them?
Well, first of all, we welcome any student of all ages. In fact, some of my favorite students graduated at 70, so you never know what age our students are going to be when they come to the classroom. But like any other student, we're going to assess where they are today with their English, reading, and math skills. If they need to start with some of our developmental classes to kind of get back in the swing of it, that's what we would recommend. Certainly, many of our returning adult students are dealing with jobs, they're dealing with families, they're dealing with children, and so for those students in particular, it's it's really important that they learn to manage their time. So we definitely recommend the College Success class, How to Succeed in College, so that they can get off on the right foot and know how to manage all of those different things that they're having to juggle while they go to school. But by and large, our returning adult students are very successful. They are here because they want to be here. Often they're paying their own way to come through school, and they're here because they know that they need that education to better their livelihood.
So they're very focused.
Very focused.
Eyes on the prize.
Eyes on the prize, yes.
But there are some services that can help families while they're attending college, I
Yes,
think.
we have a child care facility here at the college, and we do have both evening child care and daytime, part-time child care for our students.
Now, that's at the Carson campus.
That's at the Carson campus.
But I believe at the Fallon campus there are also some arrangements with local child care providers as well.
Great.
And how about financial assistance?
Well, financial assistance certainly is something that we want all students to look into, take advantage of that.
How does that work?
Well, we have a simple application that they need to fill out. It's called the FAFSA, the Free Financial Aid Form, and it's going to take a look at whether or not they're eligible for any grants, which is the best because you don't have to pay that money back, and whether or not they might be eligible for any loans. We also have scholarships here at the college, and we have different types of grants. And we encourage students to apply for everything that they possibly can. We have work-study opportunities for students to be able to work on campus while they're going to school. And, we want to be able to help pay for college if we can.
And having said all that, how affordable is it?
It's very
Approximately,
reasonable.
what does it cost to go here?
It's very reasonable, truly. Per credit, I think we're up to around 56 something, or it's close to 60. A typical 3-credit class is about 176.25, I believe.
And that's for a whole semester.
That's for a whole
4 months.
semester, 4 months. And then the books, you have to buy a book. And I tell students today to plan on about $100 a class for your book.
Has that been true for you, Megan?
Yeah, some of your science classes cost a little more, but that's just because you have to buy the lab books and there's the lab fees and such, but mostly that's about it. And then you get real lucky with some classes and they're much, much more affordable.
So how does one get financial aid?
Well, like I said, they need to fill out the application, the FAFSA, online. And
which is a national form.
Exactly.
So whatever school they would go to, they'd fill out that same form.
Exactly. And then they'll receive a PIN number, and then they'll start working through that process. I know it's quite different than when I applied for financial aid as a graduate student many years ago, but again, we have a financial assistance office here that will help students through that process and answer many of their questions.
And I understand Western gives, hundreds of thousands of dollars in financial aid. So there are lots of scholarships, hundreds of scholarships, as I understand. And have you been able to get any financial aid? Has it helped you?
Yeah, I received the FAFSA, so it's the Pell Grant. I receive that every year pretty much, so that really helps out and pays for my classes. And since I applied for that, I'm able to receive different grants through the college here. So that additional money will really help out. It helped me buy extra books and things last year, and I'm really hoping to get some of those again this year. So.
Oh, I would bet. And then, of course, if students qualify for the Millennium, they can use that as well.
Definitely. The Millennium Scholarship they can use here. It pays $40 per credit of courses that are numbered 100 and above.
Now, it's interesting, though, a lot of those courses are the same courses at the 100, 200 level that would be offered at a larger university, but the cost is lower for those same courses, isn't it? So would it be fair to say that the Millennium goes a little further for students who start at the community college?
Very definitely.
Et cetera. And do you work as well?
I do. I work here on campus. I work in the counseling office as a student worker and peer advisor.
Oh, how does that work? What's a peer advisor?
I just run new students through an intake sheet that we've created. So if they need to apply, I show them how to apply. If they need to take placement tests, I can get them started on that. If new students, we run through probably the first, I think it's 12 or 15 pages of the schedule. There's very important information in there that most students don't ever look at. It's not good. So I sit them down and I run them through it, and it works out pretty well. It's pretty nice being able to chat with them, and a lot of people don't know about financial aid, so it's really nice being able to see the light turn on when they're like, I can go to college? So that's pretty good. But I only work under a student worker position, and that's through financial aid. So if I was not receiving financial aid, I would not be eligible for that position.
So it
I'm
sounds
grateful.
like it's made a big difference in your life.
Yes, definitely.
That's for sure. How about for our adult students? Often they're working full time, aren't they?
Right.
And that's just got to be a difficult situation. How do they do it?
Well, I don't know. Other than I can tell you from experience of my own experience going back to graduate school in my 40s. And you work, you go to school. I had loans that I paid back after I graduated, and you just juggle.
You had children?
I had children. I had a 5 and 15-year-old when I started back to college, and you just do it. You make it happen.
You must have to have some great perseverance.
Definitely. But learning is fun, and I loved learning. And for me, going back to graduate school in my 40s, I had been away from college for 20 years, and I just loved being back in the classroom. And I still take classes here today. I still take a class every year just because I enjoy being in that classroom.
Truly lifelong learning.
Definitely.
How about you? What do you think college means to you?
Well, I truly enjoy college, and I always tell everyone that I'm just going to be stuck in college and the universities for the rest of my life because I enjoy taking classes and I enjoy just receiving the information from such knowledgeable people. So I'm very happy being here, and I really appreciate being able to get an education at an affordable price. No, that's pretty much all.
Yeah, you're right, because in some states, college costs a lot more than it does in Nevada. I don't know if people realize that, but Nevada has one of the lower tuition rates for its community colleges and public universities in the country.
Definitely.
I was just at a meeting with some folks from the East Coast, and in Massachusetts, the community colleges cost well over $100 per credit. So more than twice what our students are paying per credit in Nevada.
Another thing I should mention too is people that are working, about half of the classes that we have here at WNC are offered in the evenings as well. We have many classes that start at 5:30 at night, 5:30 to 6:45, 7 to 9:45. We have a lot of classes from 4 to 5:15. So we have a lot of times in the evening for those folks that work during the day.
That's critical, isn't it?
Very definitely.
I know I attended my graduate school in the evening, and that's the only way it could have happened.
Exactly.
And how about online learning? I mean, I know so many people kind of put their schedule together with a little bit of in-person and a little bit of online.
We're starting to have more and more classes here at the college that are what we call web CT or web classes. And in those classes, the student does not actually come to the classroom. They actually do all of the learning online at home on the computer.
Now, wherever.
Wherever. And they're not any easier than other classes, and they're very reading intensive. And so I really caution students, particularly beginning freshmen, about taking a web class. I would not do that your first semester. You really have to have some good time management skills and really some stick-to-itiveness to get through web class. We have other students that they swear by them. They love them. They love that kind of learning because maybe they're at their best at 2 in the morning or 3 in the morning.
Or whatever it takes.
Or whatever it takes. Exactly.
Have you tried a web class?
I have not. I'm one of those people that just definitely needs the interaction directly with the instructor and the classmates and everything. I need to be able to turn to the person to my right or left and ask them if they understood what's going on here. So the web classes, just for me and my learning styles, they're just not my preference.
Appealing.
And some of our web classes do have chat rooms in them and message boards where you do post and there is some dialogue going on. So
there is some interaction.
Yes, definitely. Some of the faculty do encourage that.
Talk about academic programs that students can go into at Western.
Well, we have a number of those programs, Anne. The newest program that we have, certainly that just recently was approved, was our new Bachelor of Technology in Construction Management.
And this is a 4-year degree?
4-year degree, yes. It is designed for those folks that want to be project supervisors, superintendents, construction folks, and I've talked to a number of students that are interested in that. But probably our bread and butter are the other associate degree programs that we offer here at the college. We have 2 that are designed for university transfer. The Associate of Arts degree is great if you're planning to go into maybe history or English, psychology, anthropology, maybe teaching, business, that type of thing. We have an Associate of Science degree that's also designed for transfer, and we have another of emphases there in chemistry and biological sciences, engineering science. And then we have a whole host of what we call the applied science degrees. And those are designed for students that probably are not going to be going on for a bachelor's degree. They're looking for some training in a specific field to go to work in that field a little bit sooner. So automotive, web technology, graphic communications, our nursing program, very, very popular program here where students do not have to have a bachelor's degree in order to go out and be a nurse.
And they get nationally certified, don't they?
That's correct. They need to go through the nursing program and then sit for the nursing board exams. But very, very popular program at our college. And then we have a number of certificate programs. And certificate programs are even less education than what our associate degree programs are.
But again, they still lead to jobs.
Exactly. SurgTech, for instance. We have an excellent program
That's
here.
Surgical
technology.
Right.
Designed for someone that wants to work in an operating room, doing the scrubbing, sterilizing, passing the instruments to doctors.
That's kind of an exciting field, isn't it?
It surely
if you want to be part of the action.
Exactly.
In the operating room.
And we also have, programs like our 911 dispatch telecommunications program.
That's even shorter.
Exactly.
That's about half a year,
semester.
isn't it?
Yeah, one semester.
And they can learn how to be a dispatcher. And I would think they would get paid pretty well, too.
Right. And we also have our post-training for those folks that are interested in law enforcement. We do offer a post-academy here at the college, a certificate that goes along with that as well as a degree.
And that's another field where they get jobs right away.
And then we have several different certificates in the computer repair and networking field. And of course, learning Cisco and learning those different Microsoft networking kinds of certifications.
They can lead to very well-paying jobs, can't they?
Exactly.
And students can do those in 1 or 2 years, can't they?
Right.
Boy, there are a lot of opportunities for, whether they're long-term, like you're going to be, many years because you're totally into it, like we were, or students who just want to say, I just want enough to get a good job, but you can do it either way.
Right.
How about the person who's already in a career, but they're having trouble keeping up with the technology? Can Western benefit them?
Yes. Depending on the field that they're in, we have additional classes that may be of help to them in that area.
So they could come in and just take classes to bone up their skills.
Exactly.
I'm sure the college is always working with, the web types of programs and the computing types of classes that people can continue to progress in their field. And I know there are classes on the schedule that I think, I've always wanted to take an automotive class, or I've always wanted to take a welding class. I know more and more people who are welding sculptures for their homes and things. And, there's so many applications for some of these courses.
Exactly.
What do you think you'll do? What will your schedule look like this fall?
This fall? Well, I'm going to be taking 13 credits. I was going to take 16, but I couldn't afford that. So 13 it is.
How many classes is 13?
It's 4 3-credit classes and one credit class.
So it's still 5 courses.
Yeah. The 1 credit class is actually a field trip to San Francisco with one of the geography instructors here on campus. He does these every semester, and he shows you the geography of the different places. So we're going to go to San Francisco and see how it was built,
which is fascinating with all the hills and the ocean. Very good, the bay.
It'll be wonderful.
What other types of classes are you taking?
I'm going to be taking a Anthropology 201, which is a people and culture class, a physical geography class. I'm going to take my Constitutions class.
You'll be learning about the Nevada Constitution and the U.S. Constitution.
Yeah.
I mean, what you're telling me is, look how broad just what her education is. What should students do in the minute that we have left if they're interested in taking part in a wonderful, broad-based education at Western?
Well, definitely get started. And if you've never taken a class here before at the college, there are a number of steps that we need to have you go through in order to get going here at the school.
Okay.
Certainly the most important is to apply for admission. Do that online. It takes about 24 hours to get your application on file. Then we need to have you take some placement tests, as I mentioned, meet with a counselor, apply for financial aid. It's not too late, but need to get going on that process. Certainly register for classes after you've met with a counselor. Come to one of our orientations. We are offering 6 orientations here in Carson this summer.
And there are also some in Fallon.
And there's some in Fallon and Douglas.
Yeah.
And then definitely pay by the deadline. Classes start on the 27th of August, and it's very important that you've paid at least half no later than the 24th of August.
Or your registration's canceled.
It can be canceled. Okay. So, yeah. But definitely get in touch with us.
That's great. And could you give some contact numbers and website?
The website for the college is www.wnc.edu.
Very simple.
Very simple. And the counseling office phone number is 445-3266. here in Carson City. 445-3267 here in Carson City. The Douglas number, I can look that up. I don't have it right offhand. And the Fallon numbers.
You can get to them from the main number,
yes,
too.
Yes, get to the main number or go to our website. That information is all available
Right,
there.
and the main number for the college is 445-3000, and you can get to any of the other counseling offices that you need to get to. And so this is a way that you can just start your career this fall. If you've been waiting, wait no longer. That's what we have today. I want to thank you both for being with me.
Thanks, Anne.
And it was very enjoyable, and thank you for being with us on Lifelong Learning on Location. See you next time.